Alright, so there are basically two main ways to play the Watcher and Slay the Spire. And there are sort of like five kind of archetypes you could imagine if we go to the card library. Um, there's pressure points. Where's pressure points? There's pressure points. You could imagine building around this. What you'd want is stuff with it that takes advantage of all your damage coming from skills rather than attacks. So, like, there's a card Sanctity that gets a payoff if your last thing is a skill. Um, there's sneakier stuff like Wreath of Flames. I'm not sure where that is, but it's a card, yeah, that gives your next attack bonus damage. Now, normally, you can't attach that to a specific attack because you have lots of attacks in your deck and you're going to have to play one. But here, if you're running primarily skills, you might have like one big attack and Wreath of Flames. Like, say you have something crazy like Ragnarok. Wreath of Flames with this turns it from 5 times 5 to 10 times 5. If you're also in a stance, it could be, 20 times 5. So you could make sure that every time you use Wreath of Flames, you know it's going to combo with Ragnarok. And so you could imagine things like that. But for the most part, there's just basically not support. I think Pressure Points is actually a little better than it looks. Upgraded, it does 11 mark. 11 damage for one is not amazing, but the second one you use does the total number of mark you've done. So the second is 22. And you can do crowd control with this. You can put one on one, then do it the next on another one, and it will do both equal to their mark taken. But just basically, it's not supported enough, and it's almost always a terrible card, which is a shame. Then there's Scry. There's two payoffs to Scry. There's things that let you scry more, but I'm looking for the payoffs because often whether something is worth doing is whether you have good enough payoffs. So Nirvana is your block creator if you're scrying, and uh, where's Weave? I'm just talking about the general kind of themes you can have and synergies you can have. Weave is not there. No, Weave is here. Yep. So you have something that can return for regular damage if you're scrying, and something that can create block. But basically, what this means is you need to be drawing and playing a lot of cards, otherwise, these just don't add up to much. So, one card that could be used for this is Just Lucky. Here it is. Because this sets off all the scry effects really cheaply. But even if you had a hand full of this, you set it off 5 times, I guess that's actually a pretty big amount of block, and you'd get some damage off Weave. But also, it would really be helpful to draw more. So, probably along with Just Lucky, the card you want a ton of if you're doing this is Cut Through Fate, because that gets you more damage, that gets you Scry, and that lets you draw into more Cut Through Fates or Just Luckies. And so probably the best scry deck is a lot of cut through fates, a lot of just luckies, maybe some other things. Some people like Third Eye, um, maybe Foresight just to give more scry. But that would be the core idea. I think this deck doesn't end up being that good or that reliable, and you really need to get the payoffs, which are at uncommon. You need both Nirvana and Weave. I ended up playing one deck at low ascension that got like 6 Nirvanas, and it was kind of crazy and fun. It could create so much, but I think it's just not very reliable. But Scry is useful anyway. Scry gets you to the cards you want. So lots of decks that aren't built around Weave and Nirvana will include some Scry. I don't love playing Scry, but I think I'm just not good enough to be good with it. The Scry deck is not good, but using some Scry is. The third deck that's not very good is if you get an early establishment. Um, this gives you a huge incentive to take retain cards and cards that create retain cards like Carve Reality, Deceive Reality. Also, reason to take Master Reality. You almost never would take Master Reality, but if you have Establishment, you can then take Master Reality. The core card that really makes you want to take Establishment, because if you see it and you don't have anything for it, you still kind of don't want to go into it, is Meditate. Meditate's a good way to enter Calm, and because it can put other things into Retain, those things can get cheaper if you've played Establishment. And so the way to end up in an Establishment deck is you get an early Meditate, and then you see Establishment, So you need to see a specific uncommon and then a specific rare, and then suddenly you can be like, all right, let's try to do this. Um, more relevantly though, meditate is a card you'll be taking normally for most of the stance type decks, which is one of the two main archetypes. And if so, and you see an establishment, you can take it, especially if you've taken something like a Sands of Time for extra damage early. That's a really nice card. I don't know the rarity of cards, so it's hard for me to find stuff, but Sands of Time, is it a rare? Can't be a rare. All right, let's look for a 4. Where's a 4? I don't see it. It's definitely somewhere in here, but I clearly am just blind. Um, Weird. All right, well, it was in here somewhere. You probably saw it and are just going, how come he cannot see this really obviously visible card? But apparently I cannot. Um, Anywho, so the cards like that. And then the main two decks are Mantra and Stance Dancing. And I have played one of each, but what I'm going to try to do today is I'm going to try on Ascension 20 to do a deck that is willing to take cards from both. We're going to lean towards Stance Dancing, but I think both are fun, and I think the combo isn't so bad. And you can go hard on a direction if you see all the cards, but if you don't, you have power from the other direction. And that's what we're going to try today. Choose a card isn't great for us for trying to minimize our deck. Rares on Watcher are bad. On other characters, this would be a really good pick. I don't like boss relic swapping. I've watched enough good players and they tend to not like it. It's very unreliable. Like, there's a fairly good chance we get something great and our run is suddenly much easier, but there's a fairly good chance we get something terrible, and especially when I'm recording. And I see something decent, like obtain a random common relic, I'll just take that. Alright, so our first hit each combat does extra damage. That's not amazing for us because our first hit is usually something going into Wrath rather than the actual big Wrath hit, but it's not the end of the world. Alright, so we want a bunch of elites, and we'd like to get some campfires on the way. Looks like the only way to get 3 is to go not to the right. Um, we can get a campfire after each one if we go up the center. So let's do that. And if I go to the center left and then a question mark, I get 2 question marks before it, so I only get 3 encounters. And you really only want 3 normal encounters before the first lead. So, okay. We can Wrath here, because Wrath kills it. It only gets the defense if it's not killed outright. So, easy first fight. And we'll take a... Okay, well, Empty Mind is the right pick if we're Stance Dancing, which is the better archetype. Incidentally, good players say you don't do archetypes, you take from what you need. And so, like, the idea of getting a meditate into establishment, that doesn't mean you're a retain deck. It means if you have meditate, establishment is suddenly pretty good. If you have establishment, some other cards are pretty good. You still don't want like 20 of them because the core thing you're doing with meditate and calm and wrath is still more powerful, but some ratio of them is now really useful because they can sit in your hand and you can play them free later. But you don't want to be flooded with them. You're still deck building and you're not entirely. But I want to try to go Mantra. I think Empty Mind is the correct pick. I think Prostrate is the best of the Mantra cards. I think Study is not good. I think Skip is actually vaguely defensible here because none of these are damage, and Act 1 is so much about taking damage. Empty Mind is usually a really delightful Act 2 or 3 pickup. I think a weakness I have is I think of what cards I want in my endgame deck and assume they have that consistent value the whole way. So I think it's possible this is a skip, even though you want Empty Mind in your endgame deck. I'm going to take Prostrate because we're going to die quickly, but I want to try to get into a specific deck. All right, so all 3 of these are excellent. If we were going to remove, we could remove a defend, especially because we took Prostrate. Really important to not have just all defensive cards. When we play Eruption, we want to be able to hit hard. So I think it's not upgrade, even though upgrading Eruption is great because it lowers its cost. I think it's not Eruption because I already took a defensive card. And so if you look at the deck, if we have Eruption, we want it with a bunch of strikes. We already have Ascender's Bane, 4 defense, Prostrate, Vigilance. These are all cards we don't want to be. I mean, maybe we want Vigilance to get out of Eruption, but these are cards we generally don't want with it. We need to start getting rid of stuff. So the question is remove or transform. I like to remove. Transform might be better. I don't know. Especially if we're willing to take cards from 2 different archetypes that we're pretty happy with. Maybe transform is better, but I feel more comfortable removing, so I'm going to just do that. Okay, remember our first hit gets +8, so we can actually take this out. And we probably should. The question, I think we should Vigilance as well. We could hit this guy, actually, and just assume. But no, this is going to take a lot more energy to take out later. So Vigilance we take 2, Defend we don't take any, but Vigilance is nice because it gives us so much energy when we swap into Eruption. So I think the real question is, do I use the Miracle to save 2 damage? And I think I actually just do. I think if we don't have to take a hit here, it's really nice not to. And now we can go into Trance kind of free, and we may as well get the free Mantra. And now as long as we draw a strike, oh no, they weakened us. No, they didn't. They frailed us. So as long as we draw a strike, we have lethal. We'll do it with Eruption. So that way we save 2 health. So I think that was good. All right, pressure points, as I said, we don't want. Battle Hymn is really good if you have retained stuff. And we took a Battle Hymn, I think, in one of the earlier runs. And I think it can be pretty good. It gives real damage, and it means we more reliably have a target for Eruption. Also, if we get into Divinity, it means we more reliably have a target. I should probably take Battle Hymn here. We need more attacks. Signature move is pretty garbage. It's just hard to make the requirements work, and 30 damage isn't even that incredible. But I probably am supposed to take Battle Hymn because I already took a non-attack. We really need... I know this is another non-attack, but we really need attacks when we have stuff up. Let's take Battle Hymn. And I'm going to the right so we can go to the campfire. Okay. So I think we can enter Wrath pretty safely here. I'm going to take the extra hit while we have the chance. Because if you look at our deck, most of the time we're going to draw Vigilance. 5 out of 7 times we draw Vigilance. Plus, they're only hitting for 12 anyway. So in times when we don't draw Vigilance, if we draw 2 blocks, we're mitigating most of the damage. If we draw a block and a Prostrate, we're mitigating most. If we draw 2 blocks and a Prostrate, we can block it all because they do 6 next turn. So I think this is not that scary to go into. And if we draw 2 attacks, which we are almost certain to do... Oh, we were guaranteed a smite. So this was guaranteed lethal, and I wasn't actually thinking through properly. I thought I was being clever. So again, if we were going Retain, this is another nice card. I think we don't need more stuff. We won't be able to spend it. Consecrate is good for the sentries, which have 3 enemies. But I think this is just a pass for us. Become Cursed. I do love gold. Are we going to see... We are not going to see a shop this chapter if we're going for 3, or even if we're going for 2. No, there are no shops we can see. I don't really want a curse just sitting in my deck the rest of the act. I'm going to turn this one down. I often take that one, but I'm going to turn it down. All right, we did get sentries. Wish I had taken Consecrate. Okay, Prostrate is free. And I think it's probably worth trying to Wrath one of these down. Because we do 17. This will only do... This won't do 14 because it's +8 from this, but it will be doubled. So this will do 12. 17, 29, 41. We get rid of one of these. Again, we have a very good chance to draw to Vigilance. I think this is worth doing because it really gets the fight under control. We do take 16 here. And so we really need a Vigilance to come. But we had a very good chance at it. And I don't think that was insanely risky. Do I actually just cut the damage? No, I think... We save 2 health. We could even use this potion here. Because energy is really not useful in this fight because your deck fills up so much with these stupid days. So you're going to be using all the energy you have. So if I want to use this potion, this is actually a really nice time to do so. Because I'm just not going to have good chances later. And was it worth it to get in 12 extra damage? Maybe. Because that's going to be a few turns shorter a fight, because we're just going to wait so many turns to actually draw things we can use. I forgot about Battle Hymn. Battle Hymn means we will be reliably drawing cards. I forgot about that. And so actually we kill this in 2 turns now, guaranteed, because we know we'll be making smites. So actually this was way more reliable than I thought. All right, do we want to erupt? If we erupt, we can go back into vigilance after. And that guarantees the smite kills the other one. So, may as well, right? Yeah, take no damage here. I feel like I could have done this fight a little better. Maybe I didn't have to waste the, so it's just lethal next turn. Maybe I didn't have to use the energy potion, and maybe there was a little damage I could have cut somewhere. I'm not sure. I think I cut all the damage I could, but I maybe didn't have to use the energy potion. I'm not entirely sure. Alright, I don't like playing with Wish. We only have one exit to Wrath, and Indignation is not a very good entry to Wrath. I think it's the worst one, in my opinion. So I'm not super excited about anything here. Wish you can go really ambitious with, but I don't have the energy for it. And we're not that excited about Scry. Right. Campfire. I think we have enough health. The question is, and this is a real question, Eruption, which is a huge upgrade, Battle Hymn, because against both of the other mini-bosses, we're guaranteed Gremlin Knob or Lagavulin next, and against both of them, this is really nice to have in the starting hand, because we won't want to get it up during the fight, but we will want it for the fight. So that might be really critical, and Prostrate is always nice to upgrade, you just mantra much faster. But I think it's between Eruption and Battle Hymn. I'm going to go Battle Hymn. I would normally go Eruption, but I feel like if I took Battle Hymn for these fights, I may as well make sure it works for these fights. Oh god, this is an annoying fight. Okay, so we're going to take 15. If we go into Wrath, then these do... they don't kill anyway. Okay, we have a lot of energy because we're coming out of a rest site. So we will be able to use everything. This does 14, but the next one does 6, so we can't actually kill 21 here. And this guy, every time you hit him, he buffs, which is very annoying. We could kill the shield guy, but I think I'd rather just get rid of some of the attackers. So let's get rid of this and weaken this. Take 5. We know we'll draw 12 damage here. This is free. 9 is enough. We got weakened, but that's okay. This way we take no damage, and we still have our miracle, and we leave the turn ready to go to Wrath next turn. And Wrath should kill here. Because we play this, and then we hit this one for 24. Yeah, we got it. Alright. That wasn't so bad. We only took 5. None of this is really for us. Wheel Kick, as I think we saw in our previous Mantra playthrough, is quite nice in Divine. But, in Divinity stuff. But I think we'll pass. And I want to go left. I want to try to take as many elites as I can. Alright, we'll take some healing. That's pleasant. We're at 33, so especially given this stupid fight, I think it's very unlikely we're going to take the shiny elite, but I'd really like to get a second elite, so I went this way. Alright, may as well get Battle Him out. And I am going to use the Miracle here because this does 14, so we can take something out. We could switch into Wrath and get off a strike, but then we take double damage anyway. Yeah, I think... we don't have to take any here. Okay, I'm going to not take any damage this turn. This gives us 4 more armor this turn. There's a decent chance we draw a potion, so I don't feel like I'm giving something up for the boss. Oh, what an annoying set of turns. Okay. I do think I want to use this. We are weakened, but this does 18 still. These will do 8. I do think we have to go into Wrath. If we don't go into Wrath, we have 17 damage in hand, so we can kill one thing, and that will take 2 cards to do, and we still have only 1 block. So if we kill one of the 6s, we take 9. That's not the end of the world. Okay, what happens if we Wrath? Wrath plus Strike will kill any one thing. Smite will kill any one other thing. We'll go down to 1 energy, but back up to 3, so this is down to 1 energy. We'll have killed 2 things, and there will be both the 4s left. We won't be able to kill either of the 4s remaining. We'll have to defend. And so that was, they're threatening 8, so that's 16. We'll take 11 there. So it's better to take 9, so I actually shouldn't go into Wrath. I should kill something. Block. And we only take 9. We expected Wrath to be the correct choice here. Oh, I could have also used our potion, but I think it's okay to take 9. Oh, we're not taking 9. I forgot we had the plated armor up. Okay, so I think that was right then. Right, prostrate is free. We're still weakened, but we may as well kill the thing that's going to attack us. And that lets us use our last strike. And now they're going to weaken us again, so we're just going to be weakened the rest of the fight. Okay, but we can finish it here. Alright. Okay, we got our potion back. That's nice. Empty Fist is nice. Halt and Wheel Kick. These are all like totally fine cards. The question is, do we want them? And I feel with Battle Hymn, I just have enough things I'm hitting with. And I don't want more blocks right now because I haven't gotten rid of that many defense. Okay, so we're going to get at Battle Hymn. We're going to get into Calm. Great first turn. And whenever we draw Wrath, we're gonna hit the mark. Alright, that wasn't this turn, so I think we're just gonna pass and guarantee that we draw Wrath next turn, and we'll have 2 smites we can land with it. This is the turn it wakes up. And also this was great, oh my god, because yeah, we didn't draw Vigilance, but we drew so many cards, I knew Vigilance, that we had like 5 or fewer cards left. And so we're guaranteed Vigilance next turn, so we can get out of Wrath. We can hit a really hard turn this turn. I would, if we had another strike, we'd be using the Miracle to get the extra hit, but while in Wrath, but that's okay. In fact, we have Lethal. All right, let's get a little more Mantra before we kill them, but all right, Bronze Scales. Oh, that's wonderful. I think this is, I mean, it's not like game-changing, but it's like, it's really good. It gives us a much easier heart fight, which is the final boss. Gives us a bunch of good things. That's a nice pickup. Alright, these cards are good. What's the boss? I really should have checked. Slime Boss. Slime Boss is kind of free. Alright, I'm tempted to take Scrawl here. Tantrum is obviously very good, and it enters Wrath cheaply. We do want damage for Slime Boss. Okay, I guess it's probably Wrath. Scrawl is really good, because anytime you have a small deck and are going infinite, Scrawl lets you draw most of the deck, which means when you do swapping back and forth from Calm to Wrath, if you have Rushdown up and are drawing, having the full deck drawn means it's very easy to get into that, but it also just means you have access to so much stuff. It's easy to do fun cycles, even if you're not an infinite where you can go back and forth. Just a really powerful effect. Flurry is fine. I think I'm going to go Tantrum. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Tantrum, but many good choices. Okay, I forgot this came before the Shiny Elite. So let's rest. Let's play safe. Let's rest. We can use, hopefully, this campfire, the final campfire, to heal up. Okay. We're guaranteed Battle Hymn. That's nice. So this does 11 3 times. So I think this is Akabeko is just a humongous boost to Tantrum exactly. Yeah, that's insane damage. I don't think we needed to use either of these. I should, really at the start of Elites, I should think, what potions do I expect to use this fight? But we should also see what we're going to draw, but there's a lot of draws here that get us lethal. This is one of them. Oh, great. That was such an easy shiny. Okay. So now we have the first of the keys to fight the heart. And we got a Mental Fortress. Oh my god. Okay. Mental Fortress and Rushdown are the 2, like, key things for Stance Dancing. It's possible we'll just be getting rid of Prostrate and not worrying about Divinity. But I do like Divinity, and it's a fun card to draw. Upgrade a card, for sure. And it's going to be Eruption, for sure. Getting that down to 1 is lovely. We'd really like to pick up, kind of tempted to upgrade Mental Fortress, but we'd really like to pick up, we upgrade Prostrate, it becomes actually pretty decent again. Mental Fortress. Stance Dancing's too good. Um, what was I saying? I think I had some point, but now I've lost it. Yeah, if we pick up a Rushdown, we're basically in just fantastic shape. Okay, so battle him, Mental Fortress. We have no attacks this turn anyway. That's a shame because we really need to get them 75 damage in 2 turns. So I'm going to use. Hey, that's a fun way to get that card. Actually, I should have taken Diva form, but okay, whatever. This is fine. But we need to do 75 damage in the next 2 turns. Now we should draw a lot of attacks here, but we didn't draw Wrath. We really wanted to enter Wrath here. So I think what I'm going to do is play Vigilance. That doesn't matter, because I'll just get the 2 mana back. It's the same either way. So we're going to go into Wrath here. Yeah. Play this. I'm going to play, what does the most damage? This is 22 times 3. This does 66. Because we're already in Wrath, and it's our first attack. Wow, I did not realize the Akabeko Tantrum synergy. I've never had this set up before. It's like, this does 40. I wonder what other stuff does. 66. So now there's the question of, do we want to get them under 70 this turn, or do it next turn? Now this turn we can do 18, 30, 54 more. So we take them to 30, but they'd split. Now if we leave it, next turn we'll have 2 smites. That's going to be 48 damage. That gets them to 36, but if we draw anything more, we've gotten them lower. What are we going to draw next turn? We're going to draw a Tantrum next turn. So we will draw multiple other attacks, so we'll be able to get them lower next turn. So I should pass. Then there's the question of, if I pass, should I pass playing Vigilance? If I stay in Wrath, Tantrum does 18, so 18 plus 24 plus 24 is 66. If I use the Miracle and a Strike or something, that doesn't quite get us there. But if I go into Vigilance, then Tantrum does 9, then we'll do 2 times 24, that's 48, so we're doing 57, which leaves 27 left, but we have a lot more mana if we draw anything. I think that's actually right here. Oh, actually, I could hit him down to 78. Ooh, yes. I should have considered this. This was the correct path. Because I can put them on 78, and now they go for the big attack. And now we go into Wrath, and we hit them real hard. We have 8 cards in hand, so Wrath will draw 2, which is fine. We're not wasting any cards there. They'll probably be slimes or whatever. It's fun to play and free. So we got 48, and we do have lethal. Oh, nice. I like how I counted that. All right. We didn't actually have to heal. Probably should have considered that that is a kind of free fight. But I healed before the previous fight, not this one. You can take lesson learned, I think. What are we excited to upgrade? I would like to upgrade Prostrate, and nothing else do I really care about. I mean, Tantrum's nice, Vigilance is nice. We're going to try to get rid of all the top cards. Upgrades aren't that important to us. Ragnarok, again, is for kind of a different deck. Deva form, I'm not sure is actually for any deck. It's really like good if you can play it long term. It gives scaling, but I don't love it. Okay. Tiny House is lots of little things that don't add up to a ton. Slaver's Caller is energy in really useful moments, but the random fights in Act 2 are pretty scary as well. I think this is actually a more reliable way to get access to extra energy. I think. I could be wrong. I think it's Holy Water. It could be Slaver's Caller. I don't think it could be Tiny House. Alright, Act 2. What do we got? I don't want to take a ton of elites here. I think Act 2 elites are terrifying. I'd like to get this. And I'd like to get a lot of question marks. So the most question marks are on the left. We can get a shop on the left. A bunch of battles. I think I'd rather take the early shop on the right. and then we can choose whether we want a second elite or a bunch of question marks. I don't mind not taking many elites in Act 2. I think Act 2 is like the scariest part of the run. 3. I don't think I want to play Strike. We could Miracle into Strike, but I don't really see the point because I want to get Akabeko on one of our really like on Tantrum basically. So I guess we take 7 here. These enemies are just very difficult. Yeah, so we can get it on Tantrum for 33, and I think that's the way to do it. And we have so much energy we can get out to Vigilance if needed. And we might just have lethal. We don't. We miss by 1 damage. This doesn't get us there. It gets us at the end of turn. We would have had to do this last turn. Okay, well, we don't mind using the miracles. We won't get them back for next fight or anything. I guess we take 8 more. So we took 15 this fight. Ah, we didn't, because we have the wonderful bronze scales. That's great. All right. I clearly do not keep track of everything going on. Third Eye is a good card, but I think not for us. We got a fight on the question mark. That's very sad. Okay. Probably not Erupting this turn. Probably battle him. Vigilance. Kind of want to just not take hits here. I'm going to throw this at one of them. Just to take a little less damage. I'm not sure about that, but it's not a potion I cared too much about. Do we still have Akabeko up? Yeah, so this does 33. So we can kill one. And then the other one's doubled, but we have 14 block. Yeah, let's kill one. And we switch stances, so we don't take any this turn. And we should have a decent draw coming next turn. Yeah, we have a lot of damage. We should have the kill. We have a lot of energy. Yeah, alright, that was pretty good. Smoke Bomb is nice. This chapter really can do you in. Do we need another Wrath entry? No, because we only have one way to get out of Wrath. We have 2 ways to go in. This is not what we want. Alright, these are the enemies that randomize the cost of your stuff, which might mean we can go into Wrath here. We have a 5 out of 9 chance of being able to get out. They don't hit that hard. I probably shouldn't. Alright, let's be responsible. Yeah, so this does 33 again, which is nice, but then we can't really get out of it. I really would like to do it, though. Why is this only 20 damage? Oh, it's 12 plus 8, right. Okay. We take 5 normally. If we let them double, we'll take 15. We'll do a bunch. Probably right to just block and waste Akabeko. I want to do more damage. Oh, that wasn't enough energy to actually cast anything. Oops. Oh, that was very dumb. Okay, we could run away. We could run away just to avoid taking any hits. I'm kind of annoyed that I screwed up the miracle, so now I want to run away, but that's dumb. 9 damage is not that big a deal. We can take 9, and if catastrophe happens, we could actually run away next turn, and like it's not the end. Okay, this is a much better turn. And we do not have lethal. We can get out of Wrath. We take 1. Yeah, okay. Alright, more damage than I wanted to take this fight, but it's fine. Ooh, let's take another Prostrate. What am I looking for? I would love Rushdown. I think Rushdown is the critical piece we're missing. We haven't gotten into Divinity yet, but we're starting to get like we might start landing there. Hey, what a draw. Oh, I'm an idiot. We should have bought this first. It makes everything cheaper. We could have saved 18 gold. That's okay. Now we get a cheap card removed. Definitely a defend, especially with all the prostrates added. See, an extra card is pretty nice. I don't know what we actually want, though. What's actually worth spending on? I don't know. This is a weird. I've never purchased this because it's like not that great, but maybe it means we get an extra upgrade right before bosses because we know we get the heal. I mean, it's got to be question card. Like question card is really good, but I don't even know what we want in our deck. We want removal because we're basically like if we could remove all our strikes and defense, we would not just be going infinite here, but we'd be having fun with landing in divinity as well while sneaking in potential infinites. Um, we have the core pieces. We have stuff at one. We'd like ways to exit calm, or sorry, ways to get into calm, and that means we do want to see cards. So I should take the question card. Okay, we want to see like an inner peace or a fear no evil. Another potentially difficult fight. I would love to upgrade Rushdown. I guess this is just the big setup turn. Um, we'll just take a ton of damage if we erupt. Do we just want to skip this fight? We're going to take a hit for 20 here. Yeah, let's just say this fight's not for us. Um, let's get a campfire. Always good. That gives us nice bonus to energy at the start of the next one. And I want to make Rushdown free. If we have spare upgrades, like we're going to start upgrading prostrates because Divinity is fun. I'm really bad versus these. I always have trouble with them. I'm going to use our potion to try to make sure. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked, but I feel like I had to. It wastes Sakabeko, but like this fight is just so easy to take so much damage. It just goes up every time, and in very challenging ways, I think. Okay. We're going to use a lot of energy this turn. But maybe I shouldn't have gone into Wrath. Am I just going to die now? What am I doing? Now we can't get out of Wrath, so we need to, like... I just killed us. I just killed us. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I just lethaled us. For no reason. I mean, this is a tough fight, but, like... I can't get out of Wrath. We don't have the kill. We can't block enough. We can try, but it's not enough. Oh, what was I doing? Oh, that was such a bad sequence. Of like taking this fight, running from this fight when it would have been if I had saved that we would have survived here because I wouldn't have died that fight. Oh, that's sad. This was a good deck. I really blew it. Oh well. And the prostrates never got going, which is a shame because I wanted to have fun with mantra stuff. Ah, shucks.